when I come in, I do my best to bring my best energy. I don't care what went on earlier in the day before, whatever. When I walk through those doors to train people, I got to give them my best energy. And a lot of times their energy is not the best coming in. So then I got to figure out how to turn that thermostat up to where I need it to be.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone.
All right, y'all, it be like that on podcasts sometimes. So today I've got my boy Sticka Mike. Sticka, man. So he is somebody who has been a great friend, a great mentor. We've clicked since day one. And he's just somebody that I had to have here on the podcast today. We always vibe. We always has great conversations, and he's done quite a few things. He's got a heck of a resume. And today is just going to be about us catching up. We haven't seen each other in a while. We haven't talked. We've been caught up on what I got going on, but not what he's got going on. So I don't even know what kind of introduction to give you, but just how have you been, man? Like, what's new with you?
Man, I've been soul searching. Been starting fresh, getting a whole new perspective in a bigger city, bigger market, more crazier environment, people with bigger ideas, and just been absorbing that and trying to see how can I grow what I've learned here in San Antonio and develop something that can fit in any market. So just been honestly in the study mode, watching how a bigger city operates, how the marketing works, what they use, what they focus on as far as engagement, noticing the differences between something like San Antonio and Austin to Dallas. Like it's pretty interesting. Like I like seeing that stuff. That's the business side that I like. And then I like the chemistry side of help developing people, understanding how to create something in those kind of spaces. But yeah, It's just been in the study mode, honestly.
Great, man. So one of the biggest things you said right there is seeing the difference between San Antonio and Dallas. So how long were you in San Antonio, and when did you move to Dallas, and what was the big transition for you? Like, what's the big difference you see?
I mean, I've been in San Antonio for my entire life. So I'm not going to say the years, but it's over 20. But yeah, I've been most of my life, but I've been part of the entertainment business since I was 16, traveling around. And San Antonio is it's a market that you can definitely grow in, because it's one of those untapped markets where it's a city of over 2 million people. You have the potential here to make something big. It doesn't have an identity yet. It's been searching for an identity, and a lot of people have been trying to get to it, but no one has quite hit it yet. So for that to be the case in a major city in this kind of state is a big potential for someone to pop out and grab it. And that's what I've been seeking for the longest time. And I feel like the competition of it has gotten in the way with a lot of good talent here.
Right.
So it's kind of like we did it to ourselves. Like if there has been or there ever is talent like yourself, or talent that's from before trying to make it, they've always met competition, gatekeepers, people that have just prevented them to make that next
step. Which turns into a crab in a barrel type situation. And then that's why you see a lot of people move out of San Antonio. And, either they blow up or they sink or they swim, whatever. But a lot of times they have some really great growth when they can move. So, with that being said, I'm hoping that, things change and even if they don't, I just hope, we elevate as a city, and we have, man. I see a lot of people out here coming up and doing well and starting to kind of rally together. More these networking businesses and stuff like that coming out, and events, are coming up. So like you said, we're still behind in a lot of ways, but the potential is there. So it's a good thing.
Yes. It's always been there. It's always there. And we do good in numbers. And that's what I'm hoping is the numbers we grow, the stronger we get. And then I moved to Dallas. It's been 3 years now. And I moved to Dallas, and that was shocker. Yeah. Shocker. One, you have a lot more to play with, a lot more space, a lot more venues, a lot more opportunities. I mean, if you're talking like, you can probably take over this city as far as the luxury apartments, if not already, within the end of this year. All the major luxury apartments you could probably hit. In Dallas, Matt, it would take you 5 to 10 years to hit all the luxury apartments that they have out there. Like, San Antonio is just a small neighborhood of the DFW. Just to compare the size.
It's crazy. It's crazy because San Antonio is huge.
Yes. Yes. It's huge. But compared to what the DFW, it's just a small pocket area between the two major cities.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if San Antonio and Austin came closer together.
Which they're doing.
Yeah. And that's how it is. Like, you have Fort Worth, that they have a saying, don't Dallas my Fort Worth.
Hey.
And then of course San Antonio and Austin, we have like, keep that weirdness over there. You know, like they have a similar thing up there. So I mean, what I've noticed is that there's so much more, and because it's so much vast, they're even further disconnected. So here in San Antonio, we're very net. Once you're in, you know the circle. Like, everyone's very close knit here because it's such a small city.
It's a big, small circle. So
right. Over there, it's so big that they're so stretched out that they haven't built those bridges yet. So that's what excites me over there. Is that, man, y'all haven't figured out how to build bridges. I come from a city where that's all we got to do. That's our survival mode. We got to find the next bridge to build to help each other out. So that's what I've noticed, and the big difference is definitely the opportunity and the platform is a lot bigger there and a lot more exciting to get things over there going. But networking is a lot more challenging because it's just that much more vast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that, man. So you every time I turn around, you're working on some really cool projects. You're doing some different things. This guy's got a resume, y'all. So what is going on in Dallas with you right now?
With me right now, I definitely want to start working on a visual platform myself, like a YouTube channel. I want to start that because I figured out, I think my niche is definitely development, like helping people in all realms of life, whether it be in business, personal, family, traumatic, just developing people and helping them open their perspective. And I think I'm very good with that in conversation, and having points being brought out that can be shared with people all over the world is something I can use a visual platform for, like YouTube, like a YouTube channel. So that's something that I just moved to a new place. So I have the space now to develop and build that. So right now, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm watching a lot of other podcasters coming up, a lot of mainstream podcasters to see, because they're the ones thinking ahead. And then the ones that are coming up are the ones trying to think of what's popping right now. So using those two to try and find the right formula on how to launch this kind of platform.
Okay. And so on YouTube, in what way are you going to display your business development? Is it going to be like the conversation? You put people in the hot seat, what can we expect?
Me, I find it more valuable to be vulnerable. So for me, I definitely want to launch it with people that are smarter, that are doing more. And have a lot more going on. I want to feel like the dumb person in the room. Because like giving that kind of challenge, especially to them and with their expertise, I think will make great content. And putting myself in a position of, man, I didn't see it that way, or one outweighs the other. Like those kind of areas of conversation is what people really have problem with, because those are the problems that people face.
Right. And I'll be your number one subscriber, because that's pretty much the content that I consume, like almost to a point where people would think I'm on the spectrum with the amount of like personal development I listen to and consume. And it's like, everybody has got workout music on while they're working out. I'm listening to some sort of podcast where that's adding value, even if it has nothing to do with my niche sometimes, just because they're talking and adding value. And usually I notice the host in those situations, even though I know this host is well versed on a lot of things, they still answer questions with the next level curiosity to bring the best out of whoever it is that they're talking to, and then so I'm kind of in this myself, learning that craft and everything, but it is just a curiosity wanting to know. And I think I have that curiosity. You have that as well. And it's like this wealth of knowledge that we get, and then, taking it and taking whatever information I can and then putting it back into my business, and in order to grow it, we can do that. I will say, kind of a little bit off subject is, in doing that, I've learned also that there's distractions in that, because there was a point in time when I was started this personal development and doing, listening to all these different videos and stuff, and getting all these business plays. You can make money this way, that way. I started to try them all
Yeah.
and all at the same time.
Yeah.
And you do more damage to yourself than you do good, And I notice now that I'm a little more focused, I'm able to see a little more where it is I need to go. I'm able to see the mistakes I need to make. And I'm happy to say no to some things that may be great opportunities and great ideas and actually make the money that I would want to make. But it's not about that. It's about what I want to do, what my niche is, and where I want to stay and kind of hone that. And if what I'm taking on is going to enhance the direction I want to go.
Right. And that's what I love about the whole thing, the whole process of what I bring to the whole thing, of what I feel I bring to the whole thing, is that in our personal lives, it only gets better the more we know about ourselves. Same thing in the business professional lives. The more we know about what we want to do, the better we can aim it. So they say in the beginning, like, you don't want to limit yourself. Like in the very beginning, it's, I want to be I want to be an influencer with tacos. All right. Well, then just make sure you stick to just Mexican restaurants and just stick to this. Be very specific with your niche so you can hit those specific targets. Or they say, if you don't know, do everything. Don't limit yourself. Do it all. So cast your net out. So yes, your net is wide, but your progress is very slow.
Right.
If you very focus it, it's the same. Like you're everyone's view, but now it's really determined on those people. Are you their type of person that they want to get it from?
I tell you like this, the Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And what happens is you don't build the mental fortitude, you don't build the diligence, you don't build the prudence, the perseverance in order to stick through something. Because what's going to happen is you're going to cast your net out, do all these different things or whatever, and it's going to get hard, right? This one thing that you really like is not gotten hard, but because this thing is doing good, you're like, oh, well, that's not going to work or whatever. I'm going to focus on this, but then, oh, squirrel, there's this other thing over here too. And I'm going to do that. And so you start creating the habit of quitting and just doing the next thing and the next thing. And you have no consistency.
And I was guilty of that. I was definitely guilty
I've been, dude, I'm telling you, because I've failed in so many ways because of that thing in particular. And so, to the point where it's like, okay, I had a heart for this thing over here. Let me go back and revisit it. And let's actually have some consistency, some perseverance. Let's look back, see where we made these mistakes, and be intentional about, okay, when these hard times come, we're deciding this is what we're going to do, right? Because if we don't, we now again have created that habit of quitting when things get tough. And what happens is with every new intention, there's going to be a level of disruption that is going to mess you all up, and then it is kind of a test to make sure that you have that discipline and mental fortitude to get through it. And what happens is this big thing, this disruption that comes, right, looks so big to you, but you're just not ready for it yet. You have to get yourself ready for it. And it's preparing you for who you need to be in order to get to that next level. So once you become that big problem, it's nothing.
Right.
Dealt with that. Like, okay, now we know how to fix that. Like now we're ready for this next level.
Right.
But if you don't stand up to it, you run away from it, whatever, you're never going to get there.
Yeah. And I mean, today's society, they're afraid of failure. And the thing is, failure is part of success.
Yeah. And a lot of people think like, oh, this person got famous, blah, 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 so easy, whatever the case may be. Those people, a lot of those people, yes, there are some people like, for example, like the Hawk Tour girl, like, come on.
Yes. But I think she is capturing that moment in the right way.
Yeah. Now give her that. She is definitely capturing that moment in the right way. And I like everything that she's doing so far. I really do.
Yes.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. It's one of those like,
she's funny, bro.
Yes. It's like, wow. It's one of those stories like, oh yeah, your kids just found out you did porn, but you're the president of the United States. But yes, she got famous for something that was completely, not appropriate. But she used that platform in that moment
Mhm.
to capture her dreams, to
Yeah.
capture her goals, to set herself up.
Yeah.
Because I could tell watching her that, oh, she wants to be her own boss. She
Yeah.
definitely had that dream and had that
Mhm.
goal.
Yeah. And so here's the deal. Like we're watching now to see which way that can go, because there is going to be a huge level of disruption for her as well.
Yes. Oh, yes.
She's
Absolutely.
going to come across some challenges. She's going to come across some mainstream opportunities, and so we'll see where that goes for her.
I mean, we've seen similar like
Kim Kardashian.
oh man, I was just about to say
Yeah.
I was just about to say Kim Kardashian. It's how they handle the moment.
They did that shit on purpose, though.
That's what I mean. How they handle the moment. Like as soon as that moment broke for Kim, it was like, get me in front of a camera so I can get talking, so I can get famous. With Haktua, it's like I've been in front of the camera, I have my moment, get me a business. I think for her, she's just starting, now that she has this moment, she's going to start opening businesses. And if things fall, it's fine. All she cares about is, I want my own business. I want to have a business of my own. Where it's Kim, it's like, I want to be the face. I want to always be seen. I need the attention. So it's how they handle the moment, I think, is what separates them.
Too, man. They got a set of lawyers and everybody. They're at that level. So maybe Hot Tuum needs to hire Kim as a mentor. I'm just saying, bro.
I think Kim will be a good mentor.
That would be actually a great mentor.
Honestly think she'd be a good mentor. It's obviously how this originated.
Yeah.
Of a moment of becoming famous.
Right.
And both moments are extreme.
But for the rest of us, we have to be very intentional about where we want to go and what we want to do. And we have to be intentional about being diligent and disciplined when times get rough. And they are going to. It's inevitable. It's going to happen, So
there's one thing I keep telling a lot of young leaders is the thermostat and thermometer, the difference between the two. And of course, the thermostat is what you control the temperature.
Right.
And the thermometer is what reads the temperature. And I keep telling them, like, look, you always want to be the thermostat in every walks of life. Mm-hmm. You never want to walk into a room where you have family that is going to irritate you, or you never want to come to work where you have someone that is going to irritate you, and you allow them to raise your temperature. You want to always be in control. The more you're in control, the more at peace you're going to be. But it's a challenging thing for a leader to do, because as a leader, what do? You take on responsibility of others.
Yeah.
And being responsible for others, that's what is the most challenging things, is taking that next step.
Yeah, I know for me, being a personal trainer and everything, that's what's kept, I've been in the game over 10 years now. That is one of the key things that has kept me in the game for that long. And I've done well with my business, because when I come in, I do my best to bring my best energy. I don't care what went on earlier in the day before, whatever. When I walk through those doors to train people, I got to give them my best energy. And a lot of times their energy is not the best coming in. So then I got to figure out how to turn that thermostat up to where I need it to be. And I usually, with most people, I'll ask questions. What are you grateful for? That's like my number one question. What are you grateful for? And it changes your perspective on
Great
things.
question.
You can actually think about what you're grateful for in a moment of whatever controversy you may be going through. You don't know what that person went through throughout the day. You don't know what story they're telling themselves inside their head when they're going through these things. But when they can think even for a second of what they're actually grateful for, then it gives them better perspective on what's going on around it.
And it's all about the
changing
purpose.
The temperature. So now we're doing this workout, whatever. Now they've changed the temperature up to the thermostat right there and changed it for them. It's about changing those perspectives.
And there's a lot of leaders out there that are just like that. They're good at giving the energy. They're good at being great customer service. They're good at putting on a smile. They're great at talking. They're great at that. That next level, it's not about being that. It's how do you radiate that? How do you get that next person to absorb that energy and also give it off? Like, how do you activate that in other people? Yes. As individuals, if you're able to deliver that, that's great. Mm-hmm. To take that next step is, how do I influence? Mm-hmm. How do I motivate? How do I get someone to match my energy, and we can both get things done? Mm-hmm. And that's the fun part, I feel, in the development, is because there's a lot of people that come to me that have that kind of energy, and it's like, I want to take that next level. I want to take that next step. Mm-hmm. How can I convince people that don't care as much as I do? And it's just questions like that. Hey, how was your day? What are you grateful for? Is actually caring. It's simple as that. Is all you got to do is care.
Yeah.
You care, they will care.
Yep, 100%. And it's actually listening to them as well. You know, if they, you don't have to know everything that they may be going through, but if they want to share it, then there's that. And guess what? If that's not what we need to talk about right now, let's focus on the task at hand. You know,
Yeah.
let's focus on something. Let's focus on what we need to focus on, because just like me, myself, you know, I got these problems I had to leave at the door, you know, and I'll deal with that later, you know, and we'll deal with that, you know. So, and you have to do that. If you do not do that, right? If you're not able to radiate that energy, or at least have that energy for yourself whenever you need it, then you're just like this ticking time bomb, or you're just wearing your emotions on your sleeves. You're all over the place. And it just makes for an unstable person. Nobody wants to be around you.
Yes. Yes.
You know? So
there was another thing I saw, and this guy was explaining, how come do I have why do I have such poor performance from these employees? And he's like, okay, well, let's take this orange, for example.
okay.
He's like, you see, it's an orange. Everyone knows it's an orange. If I squeeze it, is apple juice going to come out? They're like, no. I said, are you sure? Pineapple juice. Like, no, what's going to come out? Orange juice. All right. Let's squeeze it. Orange juice. Why? Because whatever you see on the outside, it's on the inside. It's there.
Yeah.
So the bad performance is because whatever's in them, it's bad. It's a bad rooted. You got to get to that root. You got to get to that root and help it fix it. Once you fix that root, then when you squeeze them and add that pressure of life, of work, of all this, they give good production. It's because you got to that root.
Yeah. So how do you get to that root?
Everybody is dealing with different things at different times. First of all, working a 9 to 5, I would say millennials, zillennials, and I think even the future generations have difficulty understanding when you choose to work a 9 to 5, you're choosing to work for someone else's dream. We all want to be rich and famous. We all want to live comfortably. But once you choose to work a 9 to 5, you need to realize, okay, this is someone else's dream, someone else's goal. I'm working for another company, but how do I use this to better myself? When they choose that 9 to 5, they're just doing it for the sake of survival. They're just trying to survive. They don't see what they can get from it. I see a lot of leaders that are in a company that has growth for them, but they don't take it because they're so focused on surviving. And the way the world is, they're not get it. Survive. How do I trigger it? Is actually holding its accountability. Like, hey, listen, we talk about what's your 5-year plan? What do you want out of it? If they say anything of they want to grow, they want to develop, if that's their goal, then I have a responsibility as their boss to challenge that. And that's what I feel it goes back even as a kid. Like if you're a parent and you see your kid, hey, what do you want to be? Oh, I want to be a professional basketball player. You put that kid in basketball. You say, oh, all right, well, we'll join basketball leagues. I'm going to put you in. We're going to train. We're going to get you a trainer. You challenge them. You give them that accountability. And it's up to them to push through it, face those adversities and see if they grow at it. Same thing in the professional world. If you're voicing to your boss, it starts with a good boss. If you have a good boss and you tell them what your goals are, it's that boss's responsibility to be like, all right, you just gave me your goals. I'm going to challenge you. I need you to do this, do this. This is what's going to get you here. If you didn't do it, that's fine. You did not take that opportunity. So let's figure out why you didn't take that opportunity. So you're helping them figure themselves out because they want to be there, but they just don't have the tools or the know-how to do it. And that's what we got to teach them is how the tools to use and how to get there. Everybody has that dream.
Yeah.
It's the work that they have.
So for example, in a nutshell, what you're saying is we don't even know this orange is an orange until we challenge that orange, till we squeeze it a little bit to see what comes out of it, and, maybe it ain't ripe enough yet. You're not there yet.
Right.
You're not ready to be orange juice just yet.
Or maybe that planner didn't know what he was doing.
Didn't know what he was doing. So, and there's only, and then in that moment, when you're challenged, right? What we do is going to expose what we need to know, right? Is what you're saying.
And it's how we react to that moment too.
How we react.
How we react tells us the same thing too. Because it may not just be you're not ready with the tools and knowledge to do that, but even emotionally, like you yourself. And again, it goes back to knowing yourself. If you have a lot of things going on in your personal life that you don't know how to figure out, don't know how to maintain, to control, the more you control yourself, the more you're in control.
Mhm.
And if things at home, whether it be relationships, families, or anything financial, anything like that, is easy to set you off and break you, there's no way you have the focus
Mhm.
in your professional world to get where you want to be.
Yeah.
It's like a snake eating its tail.
Right.
So it's challenging in today's world. I'll give it that. I mean, we're influenced by social media. Our faces are watching the screen more than ever, and we're seeing everyone's moments of highlights, and we're looking for our moment of highlight, not knowing that when you go to watch these rom-com movies and you're seeing this scene from point A to point B, that's the moment you're in. This work that you're putting in, that happy ending of a movie, it's there. That you're just in that moment of putting in work. Just see yourself as the star that you know, and you're just putting in the work. You just the cameras just haven't arrived yet. Just keep moving forward, and you're gonna have that limelight.
Yeah.
And don't get stuck saying we're waiting for the cameras. They'll come.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing for it.
A leader once told me that your business is a reflection of who you are. And so in those moments of challenge and controversy, it is very much how we react to it. Do we step up and figure out, okay, I got these things. You used basketball as an analogy. Okay, my jumper's off, I'm not doing that good on defense, what do we got to do to work on it to get better, to get there? Okay, now we're ready for this next level.
But we have a lot of people that they're in basketball and they realize, oh, I don't have a 3-point shot. I got to develop a 3-point shot. I'll just go play football. I just got to catch a football. That's all right. I don't want to play basketball anymore.
And then you develop this thing of doing what's easiest, and you end up just broken a bum.
Then you're at football. I got to be fast too.
Yeah.
Nah. It's all right. I'll just play pickleball. I don't got to move around. And that's the habit that we do. Instead of taking on the accountability and challenging ourselves, if we say that that's our goal, then go for it.
Yeah.
If it's not, all right, then say that it's not. You got to also accept that too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the more we know about ourselves. So that's why they say in business, try everything. That's if you don't know.
Yeah.
If you don't know, figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know what you have a sense of it, you can eliminate these things and put that focus more narrow.
A lot of times your heart is telling you to do something. But what happens is we have this natural fight or flight that these pain receptors, and the pain receptor says, don't do this thing that is painful naturally. Naturally, we want to be in a comfort zone. I don't know why God made us that way, but if we step up to that pain, rise to the occasion, and when it's painful, we actually continue to work through it, figure it out. We reap the reward. It's on the other end of that,
Yeah.
So
the other challenging thing is, I think in the corporate world, we're still in that growing period of boomers and Gen X still have this. We're going off of statistics and metrics and not performance. Like they're planning instead of strategizing. And those are two different things.
So explain to me the difference between the two.
So planning is, okay, here's our plan. These are the boxes we're going to check off, right? So you start your day. This is the plan. All right. Today's plan is I got to check off these boxes to the day. Did I check off those boxes? If I didn't, then I didn't complete my plan. Then it's a pass or a fail. That's the planning. Strategy is today, we want the whole staff to end on a smile. Today, we want to be up by $200. Today, we want to make sure that everyone cheers or has a good moment. Like strategy is the outcome that you're aiming for. Planning is just setting box to check off. So you have a corporate world where they're all about planning and they're all about results instead of performance. So for example, especially after COVID, you have a lot of billion-dollar companies that lost a lot of money in COVID, a lot of money. So now they're fighting real fast for trying to get back, and they're focused on the results. They're trying to get that end number to get them back. But when you're in a business like San Antonio, and when you're in a business of people, of customer service, of tourism, that number is based off of performance, off of the environment you give. That's going to determine if you're going to be successful or not. Same thing like Starbucks, for example. If Starbucks was just like a coffee shop, you come in, all right, I got to sell 800 cups of coffee. I got to do this many pastries. Okay, this is my plan. This is my plan of what I got to sell. Selling cups. There you go. But that's not what Starbucks is about. Starbucks is about the experience. What is the experience that you have in environment? And that is the product of the production of the person brings. They're not focused on, I got to sell 800 cups. Now in Starbucks, it's like, how was your day? Is your day going good? To the employee, I want to know if you're doing good, because I can teach you how to be a barista, but I'm hiring you because you're a cool person. Because if you can give that great personality to strangers, that stranger is going to keep coming back. And that's how we make our money. We make a strategy. Our strategy is to build an environment that's welcoming for our customers and our employees. And that's going to feed itself. We're not planning to check off of boxes, because if you just make it about the boxes, you're going to lose the production from the people. Because then that's how we got here in the first place.
It's almost like you dehumanize it.
Yes.
You know,
and COVID made us realize that. That's how a lot of good people left bad jobs and they started their own business, or they went to starter business. And now those are booming because they got all the good people with good leaders. And now they're building even stronger, where all these multi-billion-dollar companies are struggling because they were just worried about checking off a box and not looking for leaders that are trying to bring that strategy out. What the strategy is, how do we continue to be better every day? How do we continue to be positive every day? Not, hey, today did you hit the 8,000? Yes or no? No? Then you're doing a bad job. I mean, you're not here to see how the job is worked. When you're a leader, you're not in the business of the results. You're in the business of performance. That's what's going to determine if you're successful or not, is how does my team perform? Not what is the results that we got. Because you can get bad results with a good team. You can even get good results with a bad team. You can have a bad team, people that are just bad. But if you have a strict leader that is on their ass, they can give you good results. But how are those teammates? Are they going to stick around for a long time? Are they going to be there? No, you could lose them. You can have good employees, but a poor leader that says, guys, you're doing good. Just keep it up. You're doing great. Hey, we got it. Hey, looks like you're doing great. And then have bad results. Why is it bad results? Because we didn't push ourselves. We didn't look to strive for more. So it's the strategy versus planning. And I think that's right now a big struggle that we're having in the corporate world.
Man, I like that, bro. That's next level. Yeah. So, I know you're working on a lot of different projects and everything. You always got something new going on, which is awesome. Are there any particular strategies with any particular companies that you are currently working on that maybe you can share with us that might be helpful,
I mean, not right now. I still have a passion for pickleball events.
Okay.
Because I know that sport's gonna become Olympic, so it's gonna be huge. And it already is huge. It already is huge.
I visited a new gym today, and they had a whole area dedicated to pickleball.
Huge.
Here in San Antonio.
Yes.
The gym's been here for 2 years. I didn't even know. Bro.
Yes.
They just added that pickleball area.
Yes. And that just tells me events galore. I've seen it. I've done it before with Chicken and Pickle, but to see it on a citywide or even a state national thing where pickleball is just like volleyball, like sand volleyball, or it's just a thing to do for events, like going out to emo night, like, man, pickleball event kind of thing. I like that.
All right. So what strategies do you see behind the whole pickleball?
It's elevating the experience to me. Mm-hmm. So it's taking something, it's just like bowling. Bowling was very simple. It blew up. It was all over the place. And then what they do, added neon bowling. Changed the experience. Mm-hmm. So it's finding the next evolution to that experience of pickleball is what I'm looking for. Whether it be neon pickleball, whether it be having the instructor, some kind of entertainment of some sort, like some kind of host of some sort, whether it be effects happening, like even with basketball, the digital court that they have, like it's elevating the experience of what we already have. NBA's already doing it. NFL has been doing it. Like this is what I mean. Like I watch the mainstreams because they're trying to be 3-5 steps ahead. They're always trying to be ahead. Mm-hmm. NFL, they had the XFL. There's always some kind of football league trying to form because they know there's enough money in this country to sustain another football league. They know. That's why it keeps trying to pop up.
And that's why when you go to a game, it's just not the game. There's always some sort of extra entertainment and everything.
And that's what the thing is how do you elevate the experience? Find the next step to elevating the experience that can be manageable, that you can keep consistently to be successful. Because again, you can try to elevate it, but you find out, I mean, you've been in the events. You have plenty of ideas how to elevate the experience, but then you find out it becomes too costly. It's too much labor. It's too much things to be on top of to be consistent.
Right.
So it's finding that next step, but how do I keep it consistent enough? And that's going to help you develop to be successful.
I love that. I love that. That's within myself is actually, I think I naturally already kind of do it, but now it's fitting to be a whole lot more intentional on how I strategize.
Yeah.
You know, I like that, man.
Yeah. Instead of changing the box, it's just strategy. I want to end the year like this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because even in your failures, it's okay. That's part of strategy. My end strategy is to end here. The failures have nothing to do with what my end strategy is, because that's what's part of it. The planning is like, oh, things didn't go according to plan.
Yeah. So you and I both breaking in new to this podcast world and everything like that. What strategies do you look to implement for yourself? And, you know, or even you can maybe give me the strategy you do for me. If you were my, like, Coach JT's, you know, influencer, manager, whatever, you know, I got this whole podcast flow going or whatever. Like, what kind of strategy would you put in place for me?
Honestly, I think for myself and for all podcasters, I think our responsibility are ours, but I think the responsibility is bringing it back to what makes us human in the first place, is that vulnerability, that human connection, that realism to what has been artificially put in our faces. Like there's so many podcasters, so many platforms of entertainment that I think if we use that to show the same vulnerability that people have every day, it helps them in their day to day, because they're stuck on, I want to be as perfect as this person that I see on my phone. I want to live up to this life that I see on this phone. But if they see that person even has moments themselves, it helps them believe in themselves. Oh, they're human too. They have moments like that too. So that means I have even more hope to make it, because if they have moments like that and I have moments like that, I just got to focus and keep pushing through. So now we're trained to see perfection right off the bat, right? First take perfection. And that's how we're trained to see it now. So if we're not perfect the first time, we either toss it away, we're not done. So I think as podcasts, it's how do we engage that human connection with our viewers? How do we let them know that we're in it with you? Like, thanks for watching. This is what I got. This is the information I'm serving. And just to let you know, I'm human just like you. And that's to help the bridge. That's what the whole point of social media was, to connect us all to begin with, connect us all in the first place. But a lot of people took advantage of it, and we've ran off into a lot of negative areas with it. Now we have the cancel culture. So I just think we need to continue to show the human side of us. And I think that's also what drives the viewership and the engagement of people, is that, oh man, I like watching them because I get the information. I feel informative. I feel like I'm gaining knowledge, but also I feel like I'm getting to know a person more.
Right.
And I think people like that.
Man, my mind is spinning on some of the things I can do based off of this information here. So, and I know that people like to feel heard. People like to feel wanted and accepted. They love recognition. And so taking those elements, those things I like, but it's been scientifically proven that's what people genuinely want. And I'm going to take that and accelerate this experience more behind the scenes, but it'll be next level, man.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. So what's the next level for you? What's, I know you're going to do podcasts, or are you allowed to drop like the name of it or anything? Or we just, what do cause you're doing YouTube, you're making it a YouTube pretty much.
Yeah.
So, is it up already? Have you like secured some things with it? Or what's the next steps for you?
I started the bones of it. It's called If You're a Fan.
Okay.
I haven't, I myself, I'm not like specific niche, how you have that fitness going on. I just like having conversations with people.
Yeah.
From people from
We
all
haven't even
backgrounds.
talked about fitness today.
What I mean, like, is
Yeah.
like,
But
as
I
far
get what
as
you're saying. Yeah.
the channel itself, like having conversations. And I said, if you're a fan, because, and I left it just at that, because it's basically, if you're a fan of anything, if you're a fan, hey, today, if you're a fan of cell phones, I have this tech person here. We're talking about this, or we're talking about an app developer. If you're a fan of this. So the name I thought of was If You're a Fan, and just going around and trying to decide the kind of people I want to talk to. Because like I said, I want to be having conversations to people that make me feel dumb, that give me new perspective of something, or even a business that I didn't even think of, and helping each other. Because I know we help each other with understanding. You put the work in and you actually put the production. So I what I gain from you is what actually does work and what actually doesn't. Because of course we spit ideas back and forth, and we even talk about those ideas, what could happen, what can't happen, but having somebody there that we can see the results of both ends, can help get the better results. So, and that's what I want it to be, is just having a conversation with peoples of all backgrounds, and just having to find the best way, not the right way, but the best way to do it.
Right. I like that, man. I like that. That's I could see you doing that in so many ways too, man. So I love that. For me, I know I had these different names and stuff for this podcast and everything, and I decided to let me just leave everything Coach JT on brand. Whether it's about fitness or not, the one thing it will be is something that adds value, right? And so therefore you're being coached at that point. So when I post this, people are going to learn some things. I learned some stuff already talking to you, and if I am giving this man his flowers, him and I have talked a lot of strategy, a lot of ideas, and he's given me a lot of ideas that I went then and executed, and they worked. Some things didn't work, but for the most part, the things worked. The things that I had to it still has to happen naturally too, but even behind the things that did work, there was controversy and some workarounds and stuff. And I had to learn how to do things like dumb stuff, like contracts and stuff, like you have to learn those things, it's not all this just like fun stuff you see on social media. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes and hoops you have to jump through to get there. But I do love the whole strategy of things. And now that's kind of like my new word of the day.
What's today's strategy?
What is today's strategy, man? That strategy is the word of the day. Literally my strategy for this clip right here is to take this clip and I'm going to put it at the front so that when the algorithm says strategies with Coach JT and Sticka Mike, it'll pick that up or whatever. We're going to say something about strategies. I should go on there and Google like what's on there, what strategies, what YouTubes are good about strategy. And then like steal that. You know what? We're going to do that right now. I'm going to go to YouTube and just type in strategies. Look at this. Guy's got what is strategy? It's a lot simpler than you think. That's got 1 million views right there.
See, and that's what's crazy is how many people are in the world? 8 billion?
Yeah.
8 billion.
Yeah.
Right. And let's just say half of that actually have access to a phone, 4 billion. And the number one video only has 1 million.
Check this one out. 2 years ago, somebody posted a YouTube video called "A Plan is Not a Strategy." Plan is
and
not
how many
a
views
strategy.
is that?
4.4 million.
Okay.
2 years ago.
In 2 years,
Yeah.
they only got 4 million. And like I said, if half of it, 4 billion, that just tells you that pool has been untapped. And those are the things I look at. When I look at videos, I look at the time and I look at the views. If, let's say, it's only been out for an hour, if they hit 1 million in an hour, then I can see, all right, this is a viral person. This person has high influence, or this person has a lot of money in its marketing. But if I see something 2 years, and you only have a couple million, then that's a market that I know that can be hit. That means there's a lot of people, because again, there's billions of people that have phones, billions of people that have YouTube. YouTube is still number one for a reason. So the videos that only have a couple thousand or a couple million, I'm like, all right, there's your spots. All you got to do is hit those words, put these there, and you have a pool that you can tap into. So yeah, those are the things I look at too. But that's good. If it only has a couple millions, then that's high hopes for me.
And that was actually because the rest of them I looked at, those are the top two, and then the rest, they wasn't really that high
See?
numbers. So
So if you have the good engagement, you got the good look, you can
Yeah.
take over that little pool right there. Boom.
boom, right there. All right, that's all y'all get for today. You know, Sticka Mike, let them know how they can find you.
Sticka. No, you can find me on all social medias. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on X. You can find it at Sticka Mike or Michael Bryan, MikoBryan, Michael Bryan. But yeah, Sticka.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sticka.